Being an atheist continues to be one of the greatest perceived shortcomings of a candidate running for president.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I'm a Christian. There's something wrong in this country when gays can serve openly in the military, but our kids can't openly celebrate Christmas or pray in school. I'll end Obama's war on religion.
The vast majority of the population, including its leaders, including its public officials, have been people of faith.
I think if you do not understand that our Judeo-Christian values are one of the reasons why America is such a special country, you don't understand our history.
Religion is, say, 90% good and 10% bad. And when it's bad, it's really bad.
Oh, it's Jesus Christ, our president.
A nationwide poll by the Pew Research Center in 2014 found that 71% of Americans identified as Christian. However, according to a new study by the same organization, 92% of the 114th Congress identifies as Protestant or Catholic. Meanwhile, only 0.2% of Congress is religiously unaffiliated, compared to the 20% figure nationwide. With such an overwhelming majority of religious members in comparison to the national percentage, just how much does religion play into our politics?
Where it gets to be a problem is where people who have a sincerely held religious believe they can impose that belief on everybody else.
America's religious history has been a positive thing, a good thing.
In many cases, in probably most circumstances, religion is a good thing.
I believe in God. I do consider myself a religious person. My religious beliefs do not really come into play with my feelings on abortion.
Planned Parenthood has nothing against religion. The issue is not that.
There are many issues in which religion takes a precedent role, and the largest one of those is the debate on abortion.
Well, I don't think it's had enough of an impact on abortion legislation, unfortunately, because I think most believers in this country are opposed to Roe versus Wade, and it's still legal after some 40-something years. I think, for the most part, people who are hostile to religion end up on the side of pro-abortion, and those of us who tend to be believers end up on the pro-life side. The proper thing to do, the human rights thing to do, the secular humanitarian thing to do is to protect the life of the unborn child.
As a lawmaker, I make laws, and the laws that I write in this building apply to everybody regardless of circumstance. What we don't do as a state is say, because one religion says this, therefore we're going to impose that on everybody else.
I would say that Roe versus Wade is very strong evidence that we may have witnessed the end of democracy 43 years ago, and we didn't quite notice at the time.
Another movement that suffers backlash from religious communities is the movement for LGBT rights. One of the most controversial forms of protest against the LGBT community and their rights is conversion therapy.
Conversion therapy is, frankly, a crackpot idea that if you take an LGBT child or adult and you put them in the right classroom or you show them the right materials or something, that you can get them to stop being LGBT, that you can somehow flip a switch and change somebody's gender identity or sexual orientation.
It has certainly been an awful thing in the past for gays and lesbians to be subjected to it, particularly, against their will, and in some cases, volunteering for it because they desperately would like to change their orientation.
In January of 2015, Representative Lesser introduced a bill to the Connecticut General Assembly to ban conversion therapy for minors.
There's no scientific basis for it. It's deeply discredited. Every reputable scientific organization says this is nonsense. What it really is a form of abuse.
If it provides recourse for minors who feel like they're about to be subjected to this, including in another state, I'm sure there are examples of that. And it may be that legislation is a good idea.
The LGBT community had a large win on June 26, 2015, when the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage in all 50 states. Unfortunately, many LGBT people still face rampant discrimination, especially in the South. The debates over abortion and LGBT rights are prime examples of the effect of religion on our politics. Whether these effects are positive or negative remains to be seen.
Religion has played an interesting and complex and important part in American history.
If you have very strong beliefs, you may or may not deliberately apply them to your political process. Sometimes religious leaders get way off the tracks in very bad ways.
It has provided a basis, or one of the bases, for organizing particular groups as voters, ethno-religious groups. It has provided motivation for people to organize around particular issues. It has provided a basis for prejudicial activity against other groups. So it's a big, messy story that continues as big and messy today as it has always been.
Are we still a government of the people, by the people, for the people? Are we still a self-governing people? Do we still have self-government here in the United States of America?
We are a country of laws. We're not a country of men. We don't come with our individual prejudices and our individual religious beliefs and our faith-based beliefs and tell other people what to do. We can argue, we can fight, we can have debates, we can do all kinds of wonderful things, but no one person, or no group of people for that matter, should be allowed to impose their particular view on all the rest.
Thank you, Civic Life Project. I hope you all get A's.